dedicated to the boys and girls of school safety committees, whose services to their schools have resulted in the prevention of countless accidents, the saving of many lives, and in happier, safer school days for their fellow students.
To tell you about what happened to me when we moved here and I started at Franklin School. My name's Clifford Adams. There I am on my bike. I'd been to the school the afternoon before with my mother, but you know it isn't easy your first regular day at a new school. You don't know anybody and you don't know exactly what to do. Just as I was going to ride into the schoolyard, this boy stopped me. He asked me if I'd walk my bike on the school grounds. That way I wouldn't be taking a chance of running into anybody. I found out later his name was Alan Smith. He seemed to be in charge. He told me how all the boys and girls stop and salute the flag on their way to school. Franklin School sure seemed different than my old school. It seemed like every place there was a chance for an accident or any trouble, there was a boy or girl to remind us of safe practices. Alan's job was to tell the bike riders that it's safer to walk their bikes on the grounds and to park them in the racks out of the way. If they were just standing or lying around, somebody might fall over them and get hurt. A girl was helping at the drinking fountain. That way everybody has a fair chance to get a drink. I didn't want to be late that first morning, so when I heard the first bell, I ran for my room. That was wrong, too. There was another boy with an armband here. He said his job was to help us use the entrance safely. He told me it's safer not to run through the halls or to take a chance on bumping into anyone else at a corner or in a hall. I was getting kind of mixed up. And then Miss Allen said hello to me. I asked him what was going on. Who were these boys and girls who seemed to help run the whole school? Allen said they were the members of the school safety committee. I didn't even know what it was. So Allen explained how it works. Girls and boys are chosen each semester to serve on the safety committee. They represent their rooms and wear badges and help keep their school safe. Then I asked Alan about the band on his arm. He said the boys and girls who wore those had special jobs, like at the bike rack and in the halls and raising the flag. Then guess what? Alan said there was a safety committee meeting that day and asked me if I'd like to come and watch, if I could get permission from my teacher. Would I?
One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I got permission, and Alan and I went to the meeting together. After the flag salute, the president, a girl from my room, called the meeting to order. It was swell. The officers really did run the meeting, too. Whenever the principal, Mr. Andrews, or the safety sponsor, Mrs. Beck, wanted to say anything, they had to be what they call recognized by the chairman, just like everybody else. That's the way our whole country is run. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. The people pick their president and senators and representatives. Then they all worked for us in Washington, just like the safety committee works for us at school. Next, the president said it was time for the subcommittees to meet. These are the boys and girls who work on the same type of jobs, like raising the flag, or on the playground, or in the hall. Billy Nelson is on the playground committee. During recess, he helps the other boys and girls to play without getting hurt, or hurting anybody else. The rest of the playground committee have jobs like Billy's, too. In their meeting, they talked over how to keep the playground safe. Carol Thomas was on the Hall and Entrance Committee. They have charge in the halls to see that boys and girls don't get hurt by running or bumping into each other on the wrong side of the hall, watching out for doors and things like that. After a while, the chairman said the subcommittee meetings were over. She asked the chairman to report. Most of them just told about their jobs and what their committees were doing. Then they'd sit down. But when they got to Carol's committee, she said they had a problem. They wanted the whole safety committee to discuss it and help them out. You see, Carol said, some boys and girls had been running to get in the ice cream line. They all talked it over and decided the committee members should go back and discuss it with their classes. They voted to have Mrs. Beck put it in the school safety bulletin, too. She said she would. Donald Kopensky has a very important job. He's chairman of the bus committee. You know, a lot of boys and girls live quite away from school. They ride on a bus, and Donald acts almost like a conductor. He helps the driver, Mr. Kronik, on the way, too, by reminding everybody of the bus safety rules. That way, Mr. Kronik can give more attention to his driving. So you can see how important the safety committee is at our school. A little later, the president called on my new friend, Alan. You see, when the school gets new safety posters, Alan explains them to the committee. Then Alan gives them to the room representatives, and they take the posters back to their classes and discuss them. Just before the end of the meeting, they all stood up and recited the safety pledge. Then the president adjourned the meeting. I sure liked it. I was beginning to think this school was really swell. We watched television quite a lot at our house. When the bell rang, I knew who it was. I'd asked Alan to come over to my house that night and meet Mom and Dad. He was a swell guy. I sure liked him. My folks did, too. I asked Alan to explain to Dad about the safety committee. He was sure interested. Alan told him how the boys and girls had chosen on the committee. He said the idea was to help all the boys and girls think about safety and develop safety habits that will last all their lives. Then Dad told us something we didn't know. He said the big airplane factory where he works has a safety committee, just like ours at school. He said the men on the committee are the leaders. They wear safety badges like ours, too, and remind the other men how to avoid accidents and how to be safety-minded all the time. Just think, a committee like ours. You know, I decided right then I was going to get on our school committee. You know something? I made it the next semester. All the members of the old committee got certificates of merit, but I was pretty proud of my friend Alan. He got something else, an honor award for outstanding achievement. That was because the safety sponsor, Mrs. Beck, thought he'd done such a fine job. Mr. Andrews, the principal, told us all about how important a job we had to do. He said more kids from 1 to 14 years old are killed every year in accidents than die of all the worst diseases. By thinking, talking, and acting safely, we will be helping others and learning safety habits that will last all our lives. I felt pretty proud as we all stood up and got ready to give the safety pledge.
I will